Assalamu alaikum. This is 10 minutes off the top of my head. The Islam edition number 2. Okay, so I was talking about Iran and I was talking about the Ayatollahs and I was talking about how they have destroyed that once vibrant, thriving country. They did the same thing in Afghanistan. The Taliban did the exact same thing in Afghanistan. What happened in Afghanistan was in the 1980s, the Russians, in the late 1970s, early 1980s, the Russians came down and began to attack Afghanistan. And the reason that they did that is they wanted to take it over so that they could gain a strategic advantage against the West. Now, they failed. During that time, the United States of America supported with guns, ammunition, and money the Mujahideen. Mujahideen were a group of freedom fighters, and it was several different groups. It wasn't just one. There was no one group called the Mujahideen. There were several different groups that we supported. They were rebels against the Russians, against the Soviet Union. It was another proxy war that we were fighting against the Soviet Union, just like Vietnam. Okay, so these Mujahideen, and I forget what Mujahideen means. It means something on the effect of the glorious fighters for the religion of Islam, something like that. Anyway, these Mujahideen, these different groups, one of them was led by none other than Osama bin Laden. You remember him? The United States gave this guy money. He was a CIA asset. Let that sink in because it's true. You can go look it up. It's absolutely 100% true. Osama bin Laden was a CIA asset. Now, this is not conspiracy theory either. This is fact. Go look it up. We supported these Mujahideen. Now, eventually, after the Soviets left and Afghanistan was in chaos and in ruin, the Taliban, which was one of these Mujahideen groups that we supported, came to prominence and came to power. Another group, Al-Qaeda, which was headed by Osama bin Laden, moved out and let the Taliban kind of take over. They're on the same side, folks. And they moved out into Pakistan and Syria and other places. Now, the Taliban took over and destroyed further a country that was already in chaos and in ruins. If you go back and you can see this online and you look at pictures and you look at video of Afghanistan in the 1960s and in the 1970s, it was not that bad of a place to live. It looked like a pretty decent area. But when the Soviets came in and they destroyed the country with the war, they began what the Taliban finished by destroying Afghanistan and turning it into a hellhole. So we've talked about Iran, hellhole. We've talked about Afghanistan, hellhole. And again, not the people. The people are oppressed. The people are under not only governmental oppression, but demonic oppression as well. Another country that was a paradise that was turned into a hellhole is Iraq. And if you don't believe me, get in your car, drive to Dearborn, Michigan. Drive to Dearborn, Michigan, the home of Ford Motor Company, and go and look at what's happened on the east side of Dearborn. It is peopled by a ton of Iraqis. There are thousands of Iraqis there that fled the oppression that was going on in Iraq under Saddam Hussein. Now let me back up just a little bit. Saddam Hussein, it's unbelievable. Study history, folks. Study current events. The United States of America supported Saddam Hussein with guns, bombs, tanks, airplanes, material, and money for a decade in their war against Iran. We fought a proxy war through Iraq against Iran and against the Soviet Union because the Soviet Union supported Iran at that time. We fought against them through Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was our ally. I don't know what happened between him and George Herbert Walker Bush, but George Herbert Walker Bush had a personal vendetta against Saddam Hussein, and that is the real reason for the war that we fought in the Gulf War in 1991. It had nothing to do with them invading Kuwait. That was just a good excuse. Saddam Hussein was a butcher, but he was not a radical Islamic terrorist. Saddam Hussein cared about Islam as much as a CEO Christian cares about Christianity. What is a CEO Christian? That's Christmas and Easter only Christian. That's somebody who goes on occasionally during the year, but he makes sure that he's there for Christmas and Easter. That's the kind of Muslim that Saddam Hussein was. Saddam Hussein was a Ba'athist, and that is a party over there in the Middle East. Assad, Bashar al-Assad, is also a Ba'athist. Gaddafi was a Ba'athist. These guys are secular Muslims. They don't care that much about Islam and the religion aspect of it. What they do care about is power, governmental power, and that's what Saddam Hussein was concerned about. That's what Saddam Hussein had. He was our ally against the Iranians and against the Soviet Union. What we did to Saddam Hussein was ridiculous. The way that we went after him, both in the Gulf War and in the war that George W. Bush fought, was ridiculous. We should have never been involved in either of those wars. Now, I know that some of you people out there that are watching this are thinking, you're crazy, man. We went over there to fight for our freedoms, man. We went over there to keep the American way, man. No, we didn't, man. Which rights were in danger from Saddam Hussein? Which rights that you have now were in danger of Saddam Hussein? None. What freedoms were in danger of Saddam from Saddam Hussein? None. We had no business fighting that war. That's another video. But the point is that after that war was fought, you see, Iraq spent about 30 years in war up to this very day. They have been in war constantly since 1980, and it has destroyed that country. It has absolutely destroyed that country. And the people that are taking over that country now are radical Islamic terrorists. And we see the fights that are going on in Iraq that we're fighting again. Excuse me, we're fighting these fights again, and we're losing territory, and we're gaining territory, and we're losing. It's a mess. It's a mess. The whole situation is a snafu, and you military people know what that means, and I won't say what it is. It's FUBAR. You know what that means too. And we have created that situation. President Barack Obama and Secretary Hillary Clinton created ISIS. The United States has supported ISIS since day one because they were freedom fighters in Syria. And we supported the so-called freedom fighters in Syria. We gave them money. We gave them guns. We gave them material. We gave them everything. We supplied them everything that they have. We gave them. So much so that we dropped arms and ammunition to them and claimed that we were doing it for someone else, but we were really doing it for them. Don't be fooled by these liars that have been in power in the United States either, because they're liars too. Takia. Okay. Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan have all been destroyed by Islam. Saudi Arabia also destroyed by Islam. Saudi Arabia is a hellhole. If you are a woman, don't ever go to Saudi Arabia. There are areas there that are American that the corporations, the big oil corporations, have secured areas there where you can go and live a regular American type lifestyle. But if you get outside that area, God help you, because you are in a world of hurt. If you run afoul of the Saudi laws, which you have no idea what they are, you will find yourself in jail quicker than you can kiss a duck. Now, I had spoke to this girl, and this has been 25 years ago. Her parents were over there in the oil business in Saudi Arabia, and she had left the compound one night with some friends to go out to a restaurant. They don't have bars over there, but to go out to a restaurant. And she didn't, and the pants that she was wearing did not cover sufficiently her ankle. And she was seen by one of the policemen. She was taken into custody, and she spent 2 months in jail. It took 2 months for the State Department to get her out of jail because she showed her that much of her ankle. That's Saudi Arabia. Everybody that I've talked to that has been there, and I've talked to many, say that it's an absolute hellhole outside of the American areas. It is a hellhole. Now this video is up. I'm going to have to do another one, part 3, coming right up. God bless you.